How to train for Mount Kilimanjaro. Climbing Kilimanjaro is a physical undertaking, so you should prepare yourself accordingly with the Kilimanjaro training program. Being in good shape is important in many respects. Obviously, strong conditioned legs make it easier to walk uphill and downhill for sustained periods of time. General aerobic fitness allows the body to function efficiently with less oxygen, and a fit body is more likely to withstand the stress of consecutive days of hiking and camping. So how does one go about training for Kilimanjaro? First, let's talk about what level of fitness is required. How fit do I need to be to climb Kilimanjaro? That's a difficult question to answer because it's different for every individual. We have seen some clients who didn't train much and fared very well. And there are others who engaged in lengthy, disciplined training programs and succumbed to the altitude in a few days. Marathon runners have told us that climbing Kilimanjaro is the hardest thing they've ever done, while couch potatoes have said it was easier than they thought it would be. So how do we explain that? The human body is diverse, and some are just genetically suited for hiking and altitude more than others, irrespective of fitness level. In a survey we administered on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being easy and 10 being difficult, respondents rated their climb with an average difficulty of 7. And I personally would agree with that assessment. Kilimanjaro isn't tremendously difficult, but it's nowhere close to being easy. While you can't change your genetics, you can definitely improve your fitness. The mountain is a big unknown, and you won't know how you'll react until you're there. The best advice we can give is to get yourself in the best possible hiking shape. Take the climb seriously and train adequately. Hiking is the best exercise to prepare for Kilimanjaro. I've seen training regimens on other operator sites which have extensive cross-training programs featuring hiking, biking, running, swimming, and weight training. Those programs are excessive and unnecessary, and in my opinion, they're wrong. To sufficiently prepare for climbing Kilimanjaro, the best and perhaps only exercise you need to do is hiking, period. After all, that's what you'll be doing on the mountain. Ideally, you should try to hike as much as possible on hills or mountains to simulate climbing Kilimanjaro. Remember that on Mount Kilimanjaro, you'll walk slowly for prolonged periods and carry probably no more than 20 pounds in your day pack. Usually, it'll be closer to 15 pounds. Therefore, in your training, it's best to increase the time interval and distance and keep a slow pace, rather than to shorten the time interval and distance and go at a fast pace. What kind of hikes should I do to train? We recommend training 3 times a week for at least 1 hour per session. The distance, duration, and elevation gain of your sessions are mostly going to be dictated by what kind of trails are accessible to you in your area. An ideal trail would be a few miles with a nice uphill section that you can finish in an hour or so. Try to find something that's convenient for you so you can schedule regular training sessions and track your progress. Try to find the time to do longer day hikes as well. This is superb training. A solid day hike would be a 4 to 6 hour hike with moderate elevation changes, say a 1,000 foot gain while carrying a 20-pound backpack. But if you can do harder hikes, then by all means, go for it. What if I don't have trails to train on? For those who don't have access to trails, the next best option is to train on stairs. You can also train very productively on a Stairmaster machine. Remember that the goal is to simulate climbing Kilimanjaro, so wear your pack, go at a slow pace, and for a long time. We recommend climbing stairs or using a Stairmaster for 1 to 2 hours, at 30 steps per minute while carrying a 20-pound pack. Test your gear while training. It's imperative that during Kilimanjaro training, you wear the boots or shoes that you intend to climb with, so they're sufficiently broken in and comfortable. Also, you should wear your day pack, so your shoulders, back, and hips get used to the points of contact and bearing the weight. While you're at it, try wearing your other gear as well. your base layers, your trekking pants, caps, socks, everything. If some piece of gear doesn't work for you, it's better to know now rather than on the mountain. Do I need to do any other exercises? As for the other types of exercise, we can confidently say you don't need them. Focus on hiking. If you're already getting in plenty of hiking, then you can add other types of exercise as a secondary activity. But these activities should not replace your hiking training. It's a supplement to your hiking. If you decide to cross-train because it's optional, then we'd suggest doing these. Running to further improve cardio and aerobic capacity, and weightlifting to gain more muscle and strengthen your legs. How long do I need to train for Kilimanjaro? You should start training for Kilimanjaro at least 2 months prior to your departure. However, this recommendation changes significantly based on your current fitness level and hiking ability. From our experience, we can group our clients into 3 general categories. Number 1, active hikers. These people are avid hikers or backpackers. They may or may not have experience at high altitude, but they're generally aware of how their body responds to hiking uphill and downhill, the pace they can maintain, and how to fuel and recover. Active hikers probably don't need to change much in order to get ready for Kilimanjaro. They're already in good hiking shape, so training is more about getting into better hiking shape. For them, we would suggest doing some harder hikes and long hikes with big elevation gains. Basically, turn up the intensity, distance, and duration and get even stronger. Number 2, active non-hikers. These are your average healthy people who have a normal exercise regimen. They might go to the gym a few times a week to lift weights, do CrossFit, or take cardio classes, or they might be runners, swimmers, or cyclists. They're considered to be fit, but they don't hike. Active non-hikers are in good shape, but they're probably not in hiking shape. So the goal for them is to get their bodies to be more suited to climbing Kilimanjaro. Therefore, they should shift their training away from their usual exercises to hiking. We would recommend this group train for more than 2 months, perhaps 3 to 6 months, more or less based upon how transferable this person's preferred exercise is towards hiking. Number 3, non-active people. This is essentially everyone else. This is your typical sedentary individual who doesn't exercise on a regular basis. If this describes you, don't worry. We've guided plenty of people in this situation to the top without any significant problems. But we don't want to sugarcoat anything either. You'll have to get in shape to have a fair chance at success. Non-active people should start training early. We suggest training anywhere from 6 to 12 months or even more for your climb, gradually improving your fitness over time. Be careful not to overdo it, as injuries are a big potential setback. Begin with light workouts with plenty of rest in between sessions and slowly ramp up as your trip date approaches. For everyone, the longest and hardest workouts should be performed 2 to 4 weeks before your departure. During the last 2 weeks, you should taper off your training, and in the final days, rest so that your body has time to recover before your actual climb. At this point, it's more important to stay healthy and injury-free than to get a few more sessions in. Finally, physical training is just one part of getting in shape. If you live an unhealthy lifestyle, use the climb as a motivation to change. Diet, sleep, mental health, all are important. One of the best motivators for change is to have a goal in mind. If you're thinking about climbing Kilimanjaro but have reservations about getting in shape for it, by booking a Kilimanjaro climb, you'll have a time, place, and event to get ready for. When a trip is booked, it's no longer hypothetical. It becomes real. And then you'll be excited to act, to get to the gym, to get outside, to make things happen. Our trip coordinators are always here for you. Visit ultimatekilimanjaro.com and let's get you to the summit. Like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you at the top.